Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the series Strategic Game and we're returning to Let's Play of Unity of Command 2, playing the new Blitzkrieg DLC. We are advancing into Poland here, and this is the main push by Group A, Army Group A, going into Poland. We've just finished our first turn, and we are about to hand it over to the Poles. Before we do that, I do want to move up our headquarter here, just a little bit, so that it does cover more of this area up here. That does use all of its powers, but I think that's going to be fine. Just to briefly recapitulate where we stand. So we have pushed through in the south over here. We are now on the southern bank of the Vistula River, close to Krakow. So hopefully we'll be able to take that next turn, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. We've also conquered Katowice, which does enable us to send our rail supply over to the north, at least in the long term. We do need to take out at least this rail line over here to Czechowava. Sorry, or along this little forested area down here. For now, that is going to be a little bit dicey, but we have nevertheless managed to push up over here with most of our forces towards the town of Lodz and Buchara, which are going to be the next targets. So let's hand it over to the Poles and see what is going to happen on their turn, and then what we can do in the next turn. So first things, a couple of their units that are a little bit weaker are withdrawing. Some of their people are moving into different positions. That's interesting. They're getting emergency supplies there. That's interesting. And they are removing and pulling back some of the headquarters, which is interesting. We only have a single headquarter. They have more than that. So that's fine. A couple of our guys here are being recovered. That's okay. So that does mean we can now send these guys potentially to reinforce some of our units, so that's good. The bad thing is that does decrease some of the ability of us to employ our headquarters special actions. So let's see where we stand and where the Poles stand. Briefly going through this front line here. So these guys here up on the Polish side are pretty much out of supply, so that does mean they're not going to recover from our attacks, and next time around they'll not be able to attack in the first place. So that's good news. On the other hand, this area here around Kalisz and Poznan, it's not really that we do need any of that. That is not our objective. Our objective is towards the city of Lodz and Buchara. So that is what we want to take. We also want to take this rail line down here. And I think these are the most important objectives. We did destroy this bridge here by a Stuka strike. So that does mean all of these guys down here are also out of supplies. But these guys have just received emergency resupplies. So that's a bit of an issue. Right, other than that though, I think we'll probably try to pass in their rear here. I'm not sure whether we can dislodge these guys. They are very heavily dug in here, and I'm not sure that we'll be able to take them out at all. Also, we do definitively need to push on Krakow, because that is indeed one of our objectives. Some of these Polish guys down here are starting to suffer some out-of-supply issues, so that is interesting. And it does seem like we can move into Krakow right away with these guys. Do we want to do that? We could also actually move here with our tanks. That's interesting. We are seeing whether or not that hack's is occupied, don't we? I think we do. So that's lovely. Now the situation down here in the far south is probably a little bit more complicated. Now you guys could attack, but it wouldn't do us very much good. And you guys have been out of supply, so I think this is one of the easiest moves. Let's actually just simply move you on the supply route so that you will be supplied next turn. And then we can think about what we want to do here with these Gebirgsjägers, with these mountain troops. Do we want to push them all the way down here and potentially advance along this line? The issue is we don't really have any supplies here. We could also try to advance through here, although I don't think there's anything immediately that we think is an important target over here. So I think what we're going to do with these guys is actually advance towards over here, and the reason for that is basically we want to threaten the supply of these guys so that maybe they're going to withdraw towards Tarnow and allow us to push on to this side as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be nice. Yeah, so we're going to get over here. We will be out of supply next turn, but we'll still be able to attack. We'll just not get any reinforcements for the first turn here. And that should be enough to maybe push them out. So that's good. Now what does that mean for Krakow and the area down here? We've got two panzer divisions. One of them is a lighter panzer division. So these guys are really just much more exploitation units rather than anything else. Oh, also notice that there's bad weather in this entire sector. And that's really, really bad for us because we do need to kick these guys off from this rail line. And that is going to be much more complicated now. We also have these guys here as opposition. Now, the good thing about this is they have lost a lot of their organization already. Yeah, we need to be a little bit careful down here, though. So, pretty much the big question is, do we want to move these Falscher, these Gebirgsjägers, towards Tarnow? Start to threaten them there? Or do we want to move them into Krakow? I think we probably want to take Krakow because it's just open to attack right now. Okay, let's move into Krakow first. We've captured that. We could cut off their rail supply over here and start to exploit into this direction here, primarily to make their life a little bit more difficult. And unbalance them and everything. I think I do like that idea. Although we do need to be mindful to exert enough pressure down here as well. Okay, so maybe we want to start by taking out these guys. They're fairly weak. Let's try to push them away. One killed on their side, one on ours. That's sort of to be expected in terms of results. It does mean you guys can continue to push forward. Hopefully finish these guys off a little bit. Not quite, but nearly so. Oh, and you guys can't advance further than that. But you could advance up this line over there. That might be very, very important for us to do. Simply so that we can get some supplies in a sensible direction. Now this rail line is going to be extremely... I mean, these guys are supplied. And we do need to take this, otherwise we'll not be able to get supplies to the north. Alternatively, we could of course push through here and connect it up to the north. So... big question then, how do we want to proceed up over here? And where do we want to send these tanks here, for example? These tanks could potentially get an overrun on this position, which would basically get rid of these guys. You guys can push through here, but you'd not be able to do a lot of damage. And I do think it's important to keep pressure on towards the eastern route here. You can't advance, you can't advance. You could advance towards this direction, but not really that far. So, actually what we might want to do is just try to push you up as far as possible over here. And indeed, you are getting extremely far. You can even get towards this hex. And that is excellent news for us. That is excellent news. Because that does mean we are potentially going to get even all the way up over here. That is very nice. Yeah, let's do that there. Good. They are losing their supply. These units are now pocketed. We must prevent them from withdrawing, but there's no one who can cross this river in a single turn, so only these guys might get down here. And that might actually not be the worst thing. If they do move down here, they would be pretty much rendered... their fortifications would be lost, and that's nice. So just to confirm, yeah, we are getting supplies all the way over here. Good. Now the only bad thing is, yeah, we could actually cross over here and start to nibble at these guys and just try to make sure that we are maintaining a good line over here. These guys could also cross over the river here. Although they're probably better set up over here just to maintain that defensive line. Okay, big question is, can we bop these guys this turn? I think there's one thing that we definitively want to do. We do not want to do an immediate assault here. But we could try to do some... But Jesus, even look at that. Even a set piece attack, just by 2 artillery pieces here, would pretty much only do damage to us and not to them. They would lose their entrenchment with a 75% chance, but that is it. There's no more damage that we do to them than that. So that is a bit of an issue. Yeah, we really can't get rid of these guys here. How about the motorized troops? Well, we could potentially at least get rid of the cavalry, but yeah, even these guys are set up. They are so lucky that the weather here was good. Although I don't actually know whether that is set up in the scenario or not. We also want to maintain some momentum up over here in the north. We've got this lighter division. You're pretty sure to overrun these guys, and potentially that is what we might want to do then. So how long have you got, you guys, for 2 more scenarios? You are going to be around for some time. And you are within the range of the headquarters, so you're not actually going to pop these guys very quickly here. And I think we did get an overrun. Yeah, we did. So that does mean we can advance further. And we potentially want to get rid of these guys down here. Let's move over here, because I'm relatively sure that we last time saw that someone was on these hills. I don't know whether that was just a unit that was withdrawing, or whether it was a unit that has genuinely been around. We could also try to go north here, but again, there's no point going north here, I think. Yeah, let's try to come down here. Yeah, so there is another unit there, but that's alright. Let's try to get rid of this weak unit first. That's good. Can try to advance onto Lodz, but I'm reluctant to advance onto Lodz without knowing about the enemy that we're going to face over there. Well, you could go further to the north here, but I'm slightly more eager to capture this area here over on this side. Because we have got a rail line over here, which is relatively unthreatened. And if we maintain some momentum over on this side, I think that would be brilliant. Then we don't need to clear out this forest here, which is going to be immensely difficult in this type of weather. Yeah, I think that is the answer. We want to maintain the pressure on this line here. It's a little bit unfortunate again that we don't have the weather on our side, but what can we do? Right, you will be able to maintain this line some way just by moving up here, I think, and exerting zone of control. So that should be okay. So let's actually get you over here. Oh, more units there. That's interesting. Okay, we've got a 50% chance to overrun you. Let's reconsider that in a moment, because that might be one of the areas where we do want to use our airstrikes, just to make sure that we are doing enough damage so that they can't re-establish themselves. Also, these guys, I notice, actually might move around this way, so we do need to have someone guard that flank. And that might be a little bit difficult. Yeah, we don't really have the motorized reserves to come down here. Well, you could get actually over here. So that might be our answer to strike on these guys. That would prevent them from crossing into here, wouldn't it? How far can we get along over here? Let's move up a little bit, because I want to know whether there are any units there. There are some units here, but we could potentially... This is a weak unit. This is a strong unit. So these guys are exerting the zone of control. Otherwise, we might actually be able to move into the city of Lodz itself. So can we get rid of them? Answer's probably not. But if we moved you over here... Okay, let's move you guys over here. We are locating another unit down there, but that's fine. Let's use one airstrike on these guys. Suppressing a little bit. There's a 90% chance for them to retreat. They'd be retreating into the city of Lodz. Or Lodz. Do we want to do another airstrike then? Well, we do have 2 more. We could strike these guys down here. They're in the open, but other than that, it's not really an attractive target. Could strike at these guys, but they're well dug in and in bad weather and good terrain, so it's pretty much a no-no. And we could strike these guys. But yeah, I think one more strike on these guys up here is warranted. 2 killed, now that's good. And that does mean 70% chance of overrun, actually. Good. And you're withdrawing, but you are now considered weak, so that's good. And that does enable us to potentially get into Lotz itself. But only potentially because we did not notice that there was another unit there. But alright, alright. We don't need to take this turn. I think we are going to be alright. But yeah, how's the supply looking? It's a little bit nifty. Oh, and we have that bridge. We have destroyed that bridge. And that does now count against us as well. Yeah. Okay, that's bad. That is, of course, bad. Can we repair a bridge? I think we might be able to, right? Yeah. Okay, let's do that then. Repair that bridge. Still not gonna get supply this turn, but probably next turn. Okay, that's fine. Good. I still think it was a good decision to eliminate it in the first place. Okay, you guys do protect against them. Okay, let's do an airstrike on this unit. 2 kills, good. Overrun there, nice. These guys did not retreat, but they are significantly weakened. So we do need to move someone over here just to maintain that line. That's going to work out fine, though. How about you guys? We can't do a set piece attack against them now. So, question is, do we want to move you up or do we want to keep you over here? We could keep them over here and hope to dislodge these guys next turn. But it just might be increasingly difficult. We could also try to move you up and get onto the sort of next positions that are probably going to be difficult to take. Now, the way that Zone of Control works is you can basically only ever enter into hexes that you do control, and then at the most one further than that. So, to guard this hex over here, well, probably we do want to take this city tile here as well. Okay, let's move you into there. That's fine. But if we position one unit over here, I think we should be fine. Then he can only move in one hex, so that should be okay. And that does allow us actually to move you guys out and onto the rail line itself, as long as we keep them over here, which we are going to do. So that's okay, good. That does leave this Panzer Division. Now, we could position it somewhere over here. Now, they could move into here and then onto that hex. That's a bit of an issue. Now, if the weather holds, though, I think we'll be alright. You guys can advance, at least grab that thing over there, and you'll be on a supply line. So that would be a-okay. We could also send you north, but I think going into this direction here is generally going to be useful. Good, I like it. So that does leave you guys over here. We could go over there, but why would we want to? How far can you guys progress? All the way over here. So we might actually move in the tank to there. If you guys left your position to go west, that would not be an issue. So actually, let's move up the artillery. And I think we're going to be happy by maintaining this line. Oh, we are probably going to get some reinforcements, don't we? Yeah, we do. Good. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic then. Good. So you can deal with that. That does leave this Leichter division to come up and support us. We don't know where we want to send you yet. But we're definitely going to want to send you somewhere. Okay, you know what? You guys do move into here simply so that I have a little bit better positioning on I know what's going on over here a little bit more, so that's good. Right, you guys could come into that town there, so definitely we want to protect that by sending you over here. We're using a lot of our units to guard our supply line, but I think it's generally still a good idea. Right, so that does mean you guys can now advance We do have supply all up over here. You could try to make it over there, but I don't think that's really the best choice. What are we going to do down here, maybe? Let's look at that first. Let's move on to this position here. Could go a little bit into the area. You're probably going to be out of supply there next turn, but that's okay. You guys might actually advance a little bit further than that, or you could try to protect our line here. Don't think we need to push into that direction, so let's actually keep you where you are. You guys can advance far, but not if we want to attack with you. Okay, let's see where we can get you and still be in supply. Up over here is the answer on these two things. So probably that's as far as we want to take you. So where was that? Just south of the line, right? Yeah, so basically everything that is not on this line is going to be okay. Yeah, let's move you down here. You're going to be able to put on pressure on lots. And likewise, I think we're going to advance you. Again, we could go into various places here to threaten these guys. Don't think we need to, though. Yeah, let's just keep you over here. You're going to be ready to exploit. You are going to be supplied. And it's all going to be fine. Move some infantry over here to deal with these pockets. And you guys, just how well are we supplied on this side? Pretty much as well as we'd want to be. Now, speaking of supplies, I would love to build a supply depot over here on this rail line, because I'm not sure whether we're next turn going to be able to take all of this. So we do need some trucks. We do still need you to be in supply over here. Of course, we could try to get rid of them. Yeah, I think we do want to get rid of them so that we have this entire rail line here. Nice, so that did work out fine. Could attack here. That would not do us very much good. So let's actually move into here. That does give us this entire line here. So that's actually fine. And we can actually potentially connect that up over here. Can anyone move? No. Can you guys move? Can move up a little bit. Right. Let's move you over here at least so that we are starting to put more pressure on these guys. Don't think these guys will be able to... Well, they might be able to cut us off over here, but all in all, it shouldn't be too drastic. Now, you guys could get all the way over here. Would that do us any good? Don't think so. Let's actually move you guys into the city here, so that at least we are starting to pressure these guys. Although just moving here does connect up all of the rail lines, so we now have a good, decent setup over here, so that's good. And that does mean we can reorganize this to get rid of these trucks. We don't really need them anymore. That's fine, and that does give us that truck next turn, and we'll be able to place it somewhere over here if we need to. Good. So, basically you guys then. Start to threaten Tarnow, or move up over here to Radon. Moving up to Radon is an issue because I think we do need to exert some pressure that way. I would love to get rid of these guys here though. Okay, let's use our mobility here, because I do not want these guys to reinforce. And we can level up there, that's brilliant. You guys can actually capture them as well and exert our zone of control there. And our supplies, so yeah, that should be pretty lovely, shouldn't it? Yeah, good, I like it. Nice. Review down here, so everyone is a little bit more open towards attacking to that side now. You can potentially cut us off over here, but I don't think in any way that is threatening us, because we are getting supplies still from the north, so that's brilliant. Good. You guys then. Anywhere, I'm afraid, where they would cut our line. They could move into here, but that wouldn't matter because we still get supplies that way. That's good. They can't really hope to get on this side of the river unless they come around this way. I can't protect against that anyway. So it's probably not going to be that relevant. So do I send this tank unit north? I think there are a lot of forces north already. So we might actually want to send it towards at least this direction so that we have something to counter them, or do more exploitation here towards Radon. I think the answer is the latter. Good, let's move you down there. That's fine, that does settle most of the units over here. So let's deploy more of our infantry. You guys are ready over here. Let's move you towards this direction over there. And then the last unit that we can deploy, we are going to deploy over here. It doesn't matter to me that much if they are moving towards the west over here, so I don't mind that really. Let's actually move up here. I think that's alright. And then you guys can move up even further. Yeah, there is going to be a zone of control by them, so I don't think that is going to be a problem. I don't think they can make it towards our headquarters here, so okay, let's move you up this way. And then we're pretty much left with you. Could get towards this direction. Yeah, let's actually get you here. I think we are making our way to Lodz, so that's good. Yeah, that's basically everyone, isn't it? Yeah, you're not gonna attack. You're not gonna attack. No, no. Debatable. Really debatable. It doesn't feel like a good attack. No. You guys can't get anywhere where you'd be more meaningful. So no on you this turn. Anyone over here? Okay, yeah, you guys can actually attack. But I think you're alright where you are, just to guard against that flank. We're not going to attack here because that will be more effective next turn. You guys are on supply where you are, so I'm not going to attack you any further than that. Oh, you can actually get rid of these guys there. Well, that's fantastic. Nice. That did actually gain us another level. You're considered weak now, but I think that's okay. You're going to get... Oh, we could... No, we can't get to any other place. But we can emergency supply you next turn, so that should be okay too. Right, you guys could actually start to threaten down here. Wouldn't be the worst idea. I don't think we want to go north, but we could want to start to attack Lodz itself. That being said, we probably want to use our fast units to move on the southern flank over here. So let's actually move you over here. That's alright then. Okay, you might as well go here. And that's it, isn't it? Oh, this unit? No. No. So that does leave us with the headquarters. Do we want to move up the headquarters? We are controlling most of these units except for that one. Is that one going to be in supply? No, it's not going to be in supply. So we might actually want to move up just to ensure that these guys are going to be in supply. Or that we can use the emergency resupply order. All of these guys down here are also not in our command range currently. They could go over here, but that would zone of control them. They could still attack, but I don't think that is how it works for these units. So, moving up at least over here. That would potentially put all of these guys down here out of command range. But I think we're going to be alright. Do we really want to maybe take these guys out? They're so strong just because they are in the woods and the weather is horrible. Okay, let's move up. Yeah, we are still... All of these guys are now still in command range. These guys down here aren't, but I don't think they're that crucial, so that's fine. Yeah, I like it. Anything else that we want to do? Any cards? Don't think so. Let's hand it over towards the Poles, see what they are going to do. Of course, all of these stragglers are withdrawing. These guys are going east, that's interesting. They are blowing bridges and digging in Lodz. Is that it? Nope. No? Okay, interesting. Well, I understand that they are blowing bridges. That does mean, though, that to attack over here, we basically need to drive up there. That's fine, though. We are recovering a little bit of our force pool. These guys down here are now completely out of supply. These cavalry division is completely out of supply. These guys are starting to feel the pressure a little bit, but we still will have a very hard time pushing through here. Interestingly enough, they did not withdraw from over here, so that does mean we can cut their rail supply here. Unfortunately, they don't really have any supply depot that we could plunder to keep these guys here supplied. So moving up here seems a little bit risky, honestly. Maybe we can use one of our air attacks down there. On this flank, you should be starting to lose a lot of your coherence. You guys been out of supply. Pretty much all of these guys here are now out of supply, so we could emergency supply at least some of them. On the other hand, I do think we have a fairly good chance of recovering this entire line here. These guys are going to be properly isolated, so that's good. By the way, can you deploy any of us? So some infantry down here, maybe down there. I think for now we're going to hold off on that. Yeah, this would be a horrible, horrible attack. So the city of Lodz itself is gonna be a little bit troublesome, but we don't need to take that in turn 3. But it is actually turn 3, so we do need to take the city of Bracha. So we do need to come this way, but we'll need to check on whether there are any enemy units. Probably there are going to be. That being said, I think now is a very good place to put in a cut. So thank you very much for watching until this point, and you guys can rejoin me for the next turn next time around. Bye bye, guys.